So guys, inpatient rehab treatment is 100% on the table. The last video I recorded for you guys, I was in a really excited space, as I tend to be every time I accumulate some time sober. By the way, my name is Noah, and I struggle with alcohol. I consider myself very much an alcoholic, and right now I'm currently in my addiction. Now, in this very moment, I am sober, and I'm actually pretty calm. In a hopeful space, but I've been, since we last spoke, very demoralized and very hopeless feeling. I almost had 2 weeks, and I drank, and I drank a lot. And I'm not here to explain to you why. I don't know. I can't adequately explain why I do the things I do, other than it's an addictive substance, and I feel powerless over it, and I feel like a slave to it. I'm working with a sponsor in the 12-step program. He's wonderful, and I keep drinking, and I keep going to meetings, and I have a service position, and I'm doing my own work, most of it, and meeting with my drug and alcohol counselor, and we kind of all just decided, like, what's next for Noah? If this isn't working, which it doesn't appear to be, what's next? And we kind of all agreed that inpatient treatment would be the next thing. It's not what I want, but my moments of honesty are getting smaller. And my willingness, I don't want to assume it's always going to be there. A little part of the sanity that I still have is like, do whatever it takes to save your own life, whatever it takes. Rehab, the money that would be spent there, the stress that would put on my wife, to have me gone again, because I've been to rehab before, it will all be worth it if you save your own skin and you get your life back. My drug and alcohol counselor and I spoke about that this past Tuesday, and I drank that night. Like a zombie, like a man possessed. And, there's a detachment that washes over a drinker of my type when I'm in this space. I'm here, but I'm not here. And I feel it. I miss me. I feel it. And so I went to... I spoke with my sponsor last night, and he said that he thinks I need to consider treatment. And I was so afraid to bring it up to my wife because she's so tired. Bless her beautiful little heart. She's so tired. And I just told her, I had this like rare moment of honesty with her, like truly rare cathartic moment of brutal, pitiful honesty. And I just said, I don't know what to do. That's all. No ideas, no games, no hope. I'm not trying to convince her or myself of anything. I just said, here's what the people in my corner are telling me. And I don't want to just keep doing this same thing I've been doing and nothing changing, I don't think I've ever tried this hard to get sober. And I've been trying for like last 6 weeks and failed so miserably. It's so powerful, and I feel so weak. And so with every time I drink, a part of me doubles down. The other part of me is just like, feels like I'm hopeless. And I know feeling hopeless doesn't make me hopeless, but that's how it feels. And so I told her, I was like, I'm not coming to you with answers. I'm just coming to you broken and just saying, I don't know what to do. And this is what they're saying I should do. And I don't want to be in a space where I'm not willing to do whatever is suggested to save my life and give me a chance to fight for you, me talking to her and our marriage. So, yeah, and then I'm just scared. And then I just started crying. For the first time in over 2 years, I think. I just finally started crying. I've been feeling like I need to cry for a long time. It's just, all of this is so overwhelming. Trying to get sober and failing and feeling so low and behaving so poorly and feeling so detached from the goodness that is in you, but you're just not accessing, and the pain I'm causing people, and specifically the pain I'm causing literally my best friend, which is my wife. It's so much, and it's so hard to not start losing faith and start disliking yourself and start feeling hopeless. And so I just started crying, and I was just so honest for a moment. I told her that I'm losing myself little by little, and I'm having trouble seeing the real me anymore, and I'm having trouble tapping into him, and I'm feeling disconnected from her, and I know that's on me. And I told her I just think about drinking all the time. It's all I think about everywhere I'm at, no matter what I'm doing. It's basically all I can think about is when I'm going to drink again, and I feel so trapped. And I don't want to think these things. I don't want to feel this way, but I do. And every time I get a few days and I get a little bit of hope that maybe it's going to stick, I just drink. I drink more and more. And we connected on that. She knows I don't cry. I never cry. And I felt her put her hand on me, and I felt close to her for a moment. And it was just nice to be honest with her. Just to say it out loud and really feel it, like I wasn't holding back. And so my tears led to her tears, and she did say that she supported that if that's what needed to happen. She brought up concerns that she naturally would, because I've gone to rehab before and I relapsed after, and I didn't have any answers for that either. Just that I didn't want to keep doing the same thing and risk never getting out of this or something serious happening. And I brought this up to her too, one of the things that's stressful in her mind and in mine, just like on paper, just quick, is that like, I'll be leaving her alone, I'll be away from her. But we kind of brought up very fairly, very plainly, how present have I really been? When you're as lost in alcohol as I am currently, you're there in blips, but you're not really there. I'm more likely to be there a bit in the early parts of the day, sometimes midday, but as the evening comes along for me, I'm not there. I'm there in body, but my brain is elsewhere, and I'm in the bottle already. I'm just not drunk, but I'm already there. Like being possessed, and she feels that. And so I said, I'd be gone for perhaps a month, maybe longer. But have I really been here anyway? And she followed suit with, she feels like I haven't been here for 6 months. That she kind of lost her husband then. So, but something really beautiful happened after this cathartic, honest, and painful talk. Painful just in that this is sad, It's sad to be in this space and to see her suffering, and I know I'm suffering, and to know the answer is so clear, but so elusive. Afterwards, I tucked her in, and I walked downstairs, and I still was fighting that obsession to drink and that craving. And I drove to the Plaid Pantry, and I parked where I always park, and I just asked God for help. And I asked myself for help too. And I grabbed my phone, and I almost called my dad or my sponsor, and I didn't. And then I just felt the obsession go away for that moment, and I drove home, and I crawled in bed, and I knew I was safe for last night. And for some of you, I don't know that I could adequately express how rare that is once I get to that space. But some of you may understand how incredibly meaningful it would be for an alcoholic of my type to go to the store and to not buy anything and to go home. And so I'm really glad I did that. I went home and I felt safe. And this morning I held on to my wife with all I could before she got up to leave. And I felt a renewed sense of hope in one of two ways. One, I was going to do everything I could to stay sober one more time outside of treatment. But two, I'm making the necessary arrangements to check myself in to treatment if I can't stay sober. No more games, no more gimmicks, no more excuses, no more show, no more charade, no more drama. I'm a sick person right now who needs help. And it doesn't matter how many times I've needed help. It doesn't make me a bad person. It just means that I have to do whatever is necessary. And I'm going to fight so hard to stay out of treatment. Nothing would make me feel happier than to use treatment as a final means of inspiration and motivation to do whatever it takes to stay here on the outside and just work my program and surrender to this process and save my own ass. But if I can't, I spoke to my drug and alcohol counselor this morning. We've got a couple of treatment centers. I called the first one and got a quote on their costs and all that. And I'm willing and ready to go, because I don't want to be like this anymore. And I told Jess last night, like, I don't want to just assume that she's got the stamina for this for too much longer. One of my deepest fears is not that she will immediately physically leave me, but that she's already emotionally, mentally, and spiritually disconnecting from me, because she certainly would have to tolerate and to deal with an active drinking alcoholic husband. And I sense that, and she wants to fight, she wants to hold on, but I just don't want her to fall out of love, and I don't want to lose track of myself altogether also. So the fight is still on. I have breath in my lungs. I still have a roof over my head. I have support. I have a wife who's still hanging in there, but I've been reflecting very aggressively on the fact that many well-intentioned people never get sober and die in their disease. And there's a lot more for me to lose and a lot more suffering for me to experience. And so I'm going to ride this wave of humility and willingness to do whatever I need to do and pray for a good outcome. So treatment is on the table. And I hope it gives me the motivation I need to stay out of treatment. But I'm going if I drink again. One more time. If I drink one more time, I'm going to treatment to get away from this environment and to break the chain of access and see if we can save my own skin. And then, of course, anyway, all my deepest fears, the list goes at infinitum or whatever. After the whole, I'm afraid I can't get sober and won't be able to stay sober. If I can get that, everything will be okay. I know that. Everything will be okay. So we're going to start with today. I might look a little bit tired, but I do have hope in my heart. I appreciate you guys. Sorry if my channel has become a bit of a drama channel lately. This just is where I'm at. And my hope is that by sharing the realities of where I'm at in the most honest way that I can, it'll offer some hope and peace to someone who might be going through the same, and or it will remind someone who is currently in a good space to take it serious. Because I was watching a little bit of footage of me right before I relapsed back in April, and I'd do anything to go back to that time and have a do-over. I would do anything to have a do-over, to fight for my sobriety when I had it, because it's so hard to get it back. It's so incredibly painful and hard to get it back. And I just wish I'd known that, but I needed to go through this. Clearly, it's what I'm going through. And I'm loved, and I still have a good life. So thank you for letting me share. I do wish to speak to you soon. And if I am going to rehab, I probably will let you know, but I might not. You might not hear from me for about a month. But hopefully you do. And we'll see. And I think that's all.